Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Music podcast with your host, Adam Roach.
Hello.
Hello, hi there.
How are you?
Yeah, just fine. And you?
Oh, very good. Thank you. Yeah.
Pretty amazing collection of guitars in the back.
Well, thank you very much.
Wow, stunning. Is
It's fine.
this your recording booth or something?
Yeah, so I do music teaching. So I teach here at my little studio.
Ah, okay, pretty good.
Yeah, so it's pretty
And
much.
then you have just the singer. Would be cooler to have Ola, I think, our guitarist or Volker. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, actually, when I first started, it used to be like a guitarist podcast. It was actually called Become a Guitarist Today. But then over like the last 4 years, I got like drummers, singers, authors, artists. So now it's called the Land of Music podcast.
Okay, pretty
Yeah.
great. I will check that one out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
know that beforehand. It's Adam Roach, Land of Music.
All right. Well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
You're welcome. Now, how do you pronounce your name? I want to get it right.
Oh, that's a tough one. The first name it's Raimund in Germany, but you can say Raymond. It works
Yeah.
pretty good internationally. But my second name is Ennenga with
Yeah.
a soft G, with a German G, so to
Okay.
speak. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I saw Raymond, but when I saw other interviews with you, like when you
Mhm.
introduced yourself, it sounded different.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I am somewhat emulating the language that I'm talking to, and therefore maybe I mispronounce my own name, but it's Raimund Ennenga. This is the
Okay.
German way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Well, first of all, congratulations with the new album. I listened to it today, and it's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great to hear that you like it.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I was going through all the songs, writing down like, this song is really good riffs, good vocals. Next one, same thing, Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, it took us a while to write and record that record, but yeah, it's pretty amazing that the release is actually right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how long was it been, what, 3 or 4 years, is it, for this album?
Oh, it was the gap in between the record before that one and this very one is Black Frost was released in early 2019,
Oh, wow.
and so it's a 6-year gap.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously we had the pandemic situation all over the world, and that took us a while to maybe find new ways to write songs,
Yeah.
because before COVID, so to speak, we mainly finalized the songs in the rehearsal room. So it was not that there was no collection of riffs and basic ideas and structures and everything, but the final stuff always happened in the rehearsal room.
Mm.
And this time it was like finding new ways because we weren't allowed to meet.
Yeah.
So it was practically what other bands also do. It's like working at home on song ideas and stuff and sending files around. But it was like, let's say, the to find the right coping mechanism for this one
Yeah.
took us a while, but in the end we embraced the opportunities. Yes. But
Yeah.
then we had a fully packed schedule in 2022. We toured for our, let's say, standards a lot. So it was 7.5 weeks in the States, and then 2 weeks in Europe, and then around 6 weeks by the end of the year in Europe, plus some festival shows, I think. And we simply didn't find the right time to finalize the songs. So they were just there. And then we decided, let's finish this record in 2023. So we took the whole year to finish all the songs, record them, and then finally um, prepare them for proper release.
Oh, very good. So did you find they changed a lot since you like first wrote them, sending files and everything during the pandemic time to when you
Mhm.
actually got together to do them in the studio? Did you find they changed quite a bit?
I think it's hard to say because on the one hand, as soon as we entered the rehearsal room, which is basically the same rehearsal room that the band started
Mm.
back in 2005.
Wow, yeah.
So it's as soon as we do that, it practically feels the same, which is a positive thing. It's really just great memories. There is a lot of, let's say, Nail to Obscurity history in this room. But yeah, when it comes to recording these songs, it was different because it was in two steps because we changed the setup, which we already did for the two songs that we released before the actual album campaign, Liquid Morning and Clouded Frame. They are also part of the record. This was our tryout for this setup. So we did the instrumentals with V Centura, who also did King Delusion and Black Frost with us. But then we did the vocals with Jacob Hansen, who also handled mixing and mastering duties and did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So we were very satisfied with what he did with Liquid Morning and Clouded Frame, and then we recorded the whole album the same way. So it was already a difference, especially for me, because I was recording with another producer, engineer, when it comes to this.
Mm.
And the songs, they are like very, very different. Sounds weird because I think they sound like Nail to Obscurity in a way, but they are also very different in direct comparison to what we did before because the amount of clean vocals is a lot higher than in the past, and the way they are incorporated into the whole song process and into the finally composed songs is very different because we worked with a lot of harmony vocals and tried to make sure that everything um, feels rounded, not like it shouldn't sound like this song needs clean vocals for clean vocal purposes.
Yep.
It was always like everything is allowed,
Yeah.
but as soon as there is maybe a part that is open for clean vocals, let's do this.
Mm.
So we wanted to make a record that is more dynamic and more diverse in direct comparison to anything we've done before. And this led us to incorporate a lot more clean vocals. Yeah. And therefore the recording process felt very different because this time it was like me singing all the time, and then I did like the growls as the last thing, and it was like, okay, this is my comfort zone. Now I can pull that off. Okay, all right. This was the very moment where it felt like in the past, but just with another guy recording me. But doing the clean vocals also like finding my voice
Mm.
when it comes to clean singing was also part of the process because I started taking clean vocal lessons in 2021
Mm.
to just find my voice because in the past I was just singing because it was needed because we felt there is a spot where clean vocals could shine, but
Yep.
who am I as a clean vocalist? And this was also part of this long process and also, of course, part of the recording process as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was different,
Yeah.
but some parts were also, um, let's say, not the same, but let's say they stood equal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I noted down here, like some of the harmonies, like your vocal harmonies are, really good, great choices. It's not like your typical, pick your third or your fifth, whatever. I think, what was it? Glass Bleeding, I think it was. The vocal harmonies
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah.
Bleeding. That was really cool. I really like your vocals in that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we really worked hard on these. It was especially Volkan Olo who came up with these great melody ideas because it's part of their, I would use the term department to come up with melody ideas.
Yeah.
And we worked as a three-piece to finalize the melody lines, and it was great. What these guys came up with. It was just sometimes I had just a loose pattern and they tweaked it, but
Mm.
most of the time they came up with their own ideas because it was their song at that moment,
Okay.
and they had a rough idea what to do, but they always took care that I could sing them. And then we arranged like these melody lines with gibberish bubblegum lyrics, and then I had to find my way to write my lyrics into these patterns, which was also a task on its own,
Yeah.
because sometimes you end on a vowel and you really want to keep it. If there is like
Yeah.
an O that is a little stretched, and you make it like lead into the next part, and
Mm.
you really want to keep it, but then you write down the lyrics, and I take care of the lyrics a lot. They mean so much to me, and sometimes it's, damn it, the word that I have in mind ends with a T, and in the vocal gibberish bubblegum dummy, it was like whatever O, and now it's nut, and it's, damn it, and I tweaked the lyric lines
Yeah.
uh, also a lot to make them work with these melody lines, and but took care that they still work
Mm.
word wise and lyric wise. So that was also a very adventurous part of the whole process. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, your vocals sound really good. I mean, the way you do your, do you call it growls and clean singing? I know that people call it
Yeah,
different things.
I call it growls, but I know technically I think they are grunts. But
Okay.
yeah, what you can use whatever word you want to use.
Yeah, yeah. I know some people call it like, clean singing and harsh singing or clean and dirty, The way you do your growls and your clean singing, it's an incredible contrast, the way you do it. So I was going to ask you, when you do your songs, do you ever think of parts where, you might do like a growl, but then you go back and think, oh, hang on, this would sound nice as a clean vocal, or vice versa?
I think this is a very interesting question because I mainly still think like I would say a death metal singer.
Mm,
I the first idea that I always have is growls,
mm,
and but then there is a song, for example, The Eyes of Life, the
okay.
closing track.
Yeah, yep.
There was this space at the very beginning. So for me, it was somewhat clear to use harsh vocals for this song because it would turn the song into a somewhat, let's say, death metal ballad, if this term exists. But it made so much sense to use harsh vocals in that song. But there was this brittle beginning,
Mm,
and Volker, he was like, I would love to have clean vocals there. And then I was like, yeah, maybe you're right, but I don't have a proper idea. And then he just went into our let's say semi-professional vocal booth that we did for our demos, that we arranged there, and he just went in and he came up with this melody.
mm,
I think I also handed him the lyrics and he made something out of it. It's something that I wrote new for the song, but it was already this idea. And he started singing this, and it was like, all right, there will be clean vocals there, of course. And yeah, and then we made it work. So I would say sometimes it's not that it's overly clear to me where to use this or that voice.
yep.
So we try different things when we do the demos, which is also new for us
Mm,
to create such, I would say, such rich demos before we enter the studio situation. Because in the past, some things just happened when we were in the studio, which is also a great thing. But
Yeah.
it's also kind of nice to have a little more time and take your time, just surrounded by people that are interested in making these songs great.
Yeah.
Oh, a producer is also interested in that. Just scratch that, but just that are part of the team. Yeah, and that was just great, just to be so prepared before entering the studio.
And do you have like I mean, out of the both vocals, do you find one like more, controlling on your voice, like more, you lose your voice more on the growls or clean?
Yes, it's something that I'm still afraid of because this somewhat happened in the past. Not that there was like overly a problem, especially when we were on tour. I managed all the tours that we did,
Mm.
but yeah, the switch is is sometimes hard to find. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I really try to work on my stamina on both side of things just to make sure that it will work great because sometimes I lost in the past some, I would say, frequencies in my clean singing, and then I needed to force my voice, which is also not very good. But I think I found a way to make it work, and I'm looking forward to present that to the audience. We already did this on the last tour that we did by the end of last year, where we toured with Draconian in Europe. So it's it is a task, and sometimes I have to make sure that I don't overdo things because when I'm in a live situation, I'm also excited myself.
yeah,
I see faces reacting to what we wrote and reacting to certain lines, and I have to make sure that I in somewhat place in my head still know that there is a day after this day where I have to do this again.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, exactly. I mean, I've only ever sung like clean. I've never sung harsh. So is it like a totally different technique as far as singing throat wise to do the harsh vocals?
For me, it feels like that. Yeah, but the weird thing is, the longer I combine these styles,
Yep.
the more it feels samey somehow.
Okay.
I can't really explain
Yep.
because I learned so much via the clean singing, how
Mm.
to warm up, how to prepare my voice and everything. Because in the very early days of me doing harsh vocals, I never thought about that
Yeah, yeah,
because there was no tour inside. If I needed to recover, I could take my days off. So this changed a lot. But now knowing a little more where the voice comes from and where I have to find the right breath support and everything,
mm,
this also counts in for the harsh vocals now. So it feels like two different things.
yeah.
Um, and I think you can read it on my face also when I went when I go into beast mode. But it's more aligned these days, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
'Cause
still a work in progress.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Because some of these songs are going straight from clean to harsh straight away. Oh, grouse.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, this when I do this at home and in the rehearsal room, it always worked. So I have no doubt that it will work out
yeah.
fine when we tour. Yeah.
Excellent. That's good. No, that's really interesting. I spoke to someone about that before, so that's cool. Now, can we go over to some of the songs for the album? So that's
Mhm.
on there. The notes that said the album's pretty much about post-pandemic. Some of the lyrics, is that right?
The thing is, I always collect ideas,
Yeah.
and I think because this album is the follow-up to a 2019 record, I think so many ideas were collected throughout 2019, of course, and 2020. So I think um, I would say the pandemic had an impact on the songs
Mm,
because I finalized these lyrics for these songs back in 2022, 2023. So, but the basic ideas were already there, and they were like pre-pandemic.
Mm.
So it's hard for me to say because the the pandemic is not the topic within the lyrics, but the feelings um, turned into more extreme feelings through the pandemic situation because I would say I'm a moody person myself, which doesn't mean that I get overly angry, but sometimes very I hate the term, but maybe a little depressed sometimes
Okay.
and melancholic. This is part of me, and I accept that as a part of me. So these feelings and emotions have always been there,
Mm.
but they were like they went full throttle through the pandemic, and I think this had a lot of impact on the final lyrics,
Yeah.
as well as the war situation in Europe that
Mm.
started going nuts in 2022.
Yep.
I think this is also why these songs have a little more of a social critical aspect to it than in the past. Because in the past it has also always been there because we all are everyone in the band is thinking about things and we have our, let's say, political compass, so to speak, that we have. We are more like on the left side of things, politically speaking,
Yeah.
and therefore it's sometimes hard to understand why right-wing extremism, especially here in Germany, becomes a topic again.
Mm.
It's weird, and this also is somewhat represented in the final lyrics. So there was a post-pandemic impact on these lyrics, but they are not preliminary written about that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I mean, yeah, because I've spoken to a few people about it, after the pandemic happened, and they've wrote a few songs about it. But I mean, really, when you think about it, it was a big change in everyone's lives. What happened? So, of course, it's going to come up in lyrics and songs and everything. So, there's no hiding it, I guess, no escaping it.
Yeah,
So, can we just the song "Allure"? Is that how you say it? Allure?
Allure, yeah.
Yeah. So that's more of the ballad, I guess, of the album, and
Hmm.
that's all clean vocal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about that song? Like, what's the meaning behind that song?
Oh yeah. I think this is a very special one because it's hard for me to just talk about the lyrics, but also the process behind it. It was a song that came a, a little late to the party. It was sent over to me as a demo by Volker and Ole, and they were like, "See what you can do there with this one." And I had this idea um, of hidden emotions that are there and then finding their way out, which is like I would say an underlying scheme for a lot of lyrics. And I just wrote down some lines and sang them. And I think, let's say around 50 to 60% stood the way of my very first demo. It was very quickly done, which
Okay.
was weird because we like I said, we put a lot of time and effort into making vocal lines work because we had no clue how to write them.
Yeah.
And this was like it felt even too you know the aspect of second guessing.
Yeah.
You listen to a song and you have the feeling that can't be good enough because it was so quickly done. And when we prepared the song for the studio, it was just very fast, and the emotion is so pure and so honest. I would say it's kind of weird to say this about your own songs,
Yeah.
but yeah, it makes me proud in a way. It's very special for Nail to Obscurity. It's I think one of the standout tracks on that record because it sounds like us,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, completely new territory.
Mm.
So it's like maybe the counterpart music-wise to The Eyes of Life, which is for me, like I said, the death metal ballad.
Yeah.
But this is a full-on ballad, and yeah, I it's kind of weird to talk about the lyrics, so I would keep it this way. It's just a special track in so many ways, also because of the process and everything.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a great song. I love it. It's really good. Yeah, and you can feel that emotion too. So it comes across.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah, that's really great because when you're in the studio and you have to reproduce what you already did for the demo,
yeah,
sometimes it makes you fake things, and I really wanted to stray away from that.
yeah.
Really try to find the headspace I was in when I wrote these lines, which I mainly do all the time, but especially in this case, and just sing these lines and yeah, and they made perfect sense when I heard the final result, and it's still weird that it was such a fast thing to compose and finalize this song,
Yeah,
but it's really a special one, yeah.
yeah, that's good. Now, I was going to ask you about lyric writing. I just come up with my head now. Because a lot of people, they always, especially on clean vocals, there's a lot of rhyming going on with the words, the sentences. So
Yeah,
do you do that with your clean lyric writing?
to be honest, because I'm from the harsh vocal department, it was and there I rarely used rhyme patterns.
Mm,
Sometimes I do them, sometimes also on purpose, because sometimes it feels like, okay, this pattern would work even better if I have some sort of rhyme scheme. But I don't do this all the time. So when it came to the clean vocals, I just first of all wrote what I had in mind
yeah,
to like find a sketch for my overall idea
mhm,
because I like when the song and the lyrics are like a journey. You have
yeah,
a beginning and a middle section and an end. And this is what I try to make sure that it works as this. And some of these lines, they stay quite similar to what I just created as a sketch. And if there is no rhyme and I don't feel that there is a rhyme needed,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't force that because uh, as long as it works, it works.
yeah, that's right. Now, how about with the growl lyric writing? Is there no rhyming in that, or is it just whatever comes up?
Yes and no. Sometimes I'm searching for a pattern,
Yep.
and then it's just like I described it with the clean vocals, just using some words, some random words that appear, and especially when it comes to the growl department, it's sometimes really overall evil stuff that I just use to just find a pattern.
Yeah.
And it's just evil, die, 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 evil, whatever. And then I think, okay, this makes sense. And then I try to when I look at my idea that I have for that song, to search for lines that fit that pattern.
Mm.
But sometimes it's also like I have my lyric idea written down like I wouldn't say a poem because this sounds so huge and big, but it's written in some lines, and I just try them out, and then I have the first verse, and I try to keep the pattern and write the second verse into the scheme that I created with the first verse.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's also sometimes like that, yeah.
Ah, that's awesome. That's great. Sorry, I just realised the time, but this has been
Oh
fantastic. I
yeah,
really learned a lot from you today, so thank you for this interview. Thank you very much.
thank you very much for having me, and I hope I could give you some interesting answers to your questions. And
Yeah, for sure, 100%. All right,
thank
well,
you so much.
hopefully you're seeing in Australia real soon.
Oh yeah, we hope so too. Really, it would be so great to finally go down under. It would be
Yep,
just great. Thank you so much.
no problem. I'll talk to you soon. Thank
Have a
you.
great day, buddy.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.